Welcome everybody, I'm Jeremy. Today we're going to be doing a chance to arrive just as you are. So take a few minutes. Thank you for being with me. Today we're going to be using a couple props and we're going to be using them in a way to make ourselves feel more supportive. So not necessarily to make any of our stretches deeper, but to use in a way that can make our body feel more integrated into the space while making the shapes. So we're going to be using a couple blocks, 2 if you have them, a bolster if you have it. I always have a couple blankets, useful for our knees, also useful for padding wrists. So anywhere where we could think of more padding or warmth for later, for controlling temperature. If you don't have any blocks, books could be used, anything stable to kind of pick yourself up. I have a chair. It'll be useful in some of our positions, so you can feel free to use a chair as well. That's going to be our easiest shape in some of the positions that we'll be creating. And so take a few minutes just to get everything that you need. Take a few minutes here to arrive just as you are, and to take up a little more space in the room. And then choose a position that you'd like to start. It could be sitting, it could be standing, it could be lying down. There's no correct posture here. We're going to be in this first area, this first container for a few minutes. And we're just going to be arriving, settling into the space, letting our nerves settle into our bodies. And today, we're going to take some time, and we're going to not fix anything or force anything. And we're not achieving anything before we begin. And just take the time to settle. And you might start taking in the room that you're in. Not scanning, but just taking in the light, taking in any sounds, taking in the space that you're in. You might just start to come into your body. Just as you begin to settle, just noticing. I do a lot of work with the nervous system during surgery. Interviewing thousands of people, I've learned one thing. Every nervous system is different. Even our own nervous system can feel different on different days. It's somewhat dependent on the conditions that it's in. And sleep could change it, stress, food, hormones or pain, recovery, life. We're just settling into our seats here. We're just arriving still. Knowing that your nervous system is your own, and today is its own. Start to come into that space. We're not going to be looking for any right results today. It's about more of a noticing, a sensing, something true in your own system. And something you can feel and sense into. And take a moment in your seat and start to find the contact. Where are you arriving? And start to think about your hands for a moment and make a small choice. Our hands carry a lot of sensory information. The information goes right to our brains. And so we can send our system small signals to help them let us know where we're at in space, in our intention. You might try palms up if you'd like a little more exploring today. You might try palms down for grounding. There's no right answer. Feel free to choose and adjust however you'd like. They could rest on your legs, by your sides, They could even come to a certain spot of your body that might be healing or needing attention, or to your heart if you'd like. Now make a choice with your eyes. Eyes are also taking in a lot of information. And so we can slightly change the input if we'd like. Slightly closed for a little less input. You can keep them open if you'd like. More input, but don't concentrate on anything. Let your gaze be soft. We're just still arriving. We're still settling. We're coming into a sense of unhurried. And if it feels okay, let yourself take up a little more space. Maybe your collarbones could widen a little. Maybe your elbows could come farther away from your ribs. Maybe the skin on your face softens just a little. Maybe the breath has a little more room. No need to adjust. Just noticing is enough. Now noticing where your body meets its support. Maybe it's the feet on the floor, your seat on the chair or cushion, hands on your legs. This is all input going to the brain. It's all going into the same system. And let's take a few easy breaths together, through your nose if you'd like, just to start to open the space. This is at your pace, natural and easy. Inhales and exhales, all at your pace. And this is a signal in itself. This arriving, this landing, it can become its own signal in the brain. And over time, our system can start to recognize that this is where attention can begin. Not of a place of force, but possibly of stillness. Now, in surgery, I work with electrical signals. Our bodies carry those signals, and so today we're going to explain and explore the difference between noise in our system and signal. Now, if you can imagine the brain, it's taking in input all day long, sometimes a lot. Thoughts, muscle activity, emotions, attention shifting, sounds coming in and out, light, too bright, too soft, memories and planning, expectations. This is the brain doing its thing. Its job is to compare and keep us safe. And it's part of a living system doing what it does. You see, when there's a lot happening all at once, it can sometimes be harder to tell what matters most. So today we're not trying to shut the system down. We're not collapsing. We're not over-efforting. We're helping the system organize. It's what's already here, from where it already is. And one of the ways we can do this is through rotation. You see, when you rotate your body, even a little, the brain, it has to update what's happening with yourself in space. Where am I? What direction am I facing? It's a little bit like your internal map saying, hey, hold on, let me update that. And very often, when the map updates, signals, they can become clear. So with that theme in mind, today we're going to explore less noise and see how that might contribute to clearer signal. And from here, you might take a moment to set a quiet intention. Not a goal or something to accomplish or achieve. This is more like a direction. And visualize a sticky note. You might write this intention on that note. Maybe it's, can I stay oriented as things shift? Can I notice things rushing without fixing it? Is there space here for less effort? Maybe there's no intention yet. Maybe there's just space for one. And take your sticky note and place it quietly in the background. And now start to bring your attention into your breath. There's no need to change it yet, but if it feels helpful, you might place one or both hands on your ribs or low belly, or one hand on your chest and one hand on your ribs. There's no correct placement, but what we're doing here is we're using our hands to get a sense of what's happening with our breath without having to think about it. It could be anywhere in your body that helps you feel movement of your breath. And we're not changing our breath. It's still natural and quiet through your nose if you'd like. Maybe we can begin to notice the different directions it's going in. Maybe we can start to sense it moving into our sides. Maybe we can sense it in our fronts. Maybe there's space being created in our backs. Even a little space around the spine. And you might imagine your next inhale like a cloud expanding into the front, into the sides, into the back, and exhaling softly from all those places too. And take a few breaths here. This is your 360 degrees breath. It's not something to perfect. It's just something that we're going to notice. And if you'd like, we're going to add one more layer. With one hand, place it gently on your throat towards your vocal cords. And on your next exhale, make it curious. Nothing special. No right length, no right tone. This is all you. This is a signal we can send, along with our hands, to the nervous system, letting those small adjustments happen on their own. Inhale softly, and exhale quietly. I'm curious. This is what curiosity sounds like. Every day we're going through these layers of our bodies, our experience, our emotions. Brains are going all the time, doing what it does, comparison, keeping us safe. Maybe there's something under those layers. Maybe there's this observing part. Maybe there's space to notice without having to become part of all of it, without having to grab a hold of any of it. And take one more easy in-breath. And if it feels okay, breathe either hand in front of you, looking at your palm, and make a gentle fist. Thumb tucked towards your palm, fingers overlapping. like this. It's not tight or bent, but in this position, we can think of this as our fists as our brains, our wrist as our neck, our forearm as our torso, with our elbow being our waist. So in this position, with our heads at our neck, begin to rotate softly around your wrist. And you might imagine your head orienting like this in space as you rotate your neck. You might rotate your neck with your wrists. This is gentle, slow. And with your other hand, touch your forearm in any place, grabbing hold, and start to twist your wrist side to side and feel what's happening down in your forearm. Try to twist your wrist without moving your bottom forearm towards your elbow. You might notice that it all moves as a unit. You might notice that you really can't move one area without affecting the other. And we can think about this as we rotate our bodies in space, that we want to rotate our bodies in a unit, keeping pressure and sensation low here in our low backs, and keeping the focus ease and gentle in our necks. So let's return to your seat and your breath. We're going to take a few more in-breaths here. And we've been in this position for a moment, so if you need to switch positions, shake out your legs, now would be a good time to do that. And we're going to gently move into some movement. And you might do those small movements, taking your wrists in a cactus face. And you might gently twist your wrists and your neck. Gentle here. And going side to side, clockwise, counterclockwise. Maybe your elbows start to get into the mix and move. Maybe your shoulders start to get into it a little bit. This is your movement. Maybe you got some chicken wings going on. Maybe your hands and your fingers spread out now. This is all you. This is all moving as that unit we just showed. And take a few breaths here and see if you can find that curious And maybe under all this there's a smile. And there's a sense of freedom. And maybe there's joy that we're doing it together. In our own space, doing our own thing, together as a community. And you can start to bring your motion down. We're going to start to come back to a cooler spot. And hands down to your sides. No rush, just arrive. And as we were moving, what was happening in your body? And take a moment just to let everything settle that we just did. And finding that breath. I'm curious, And we're just sensing in what's happening in our brain. What's happening in our bodies? You might have some feelings going on, some sensations, maybe some resistance, maybe that curiosity, maybe it's fuzzy. There's no need to judge it, we're just noticing. And when you're ready, At your own pace, we're going to make our way towards standing. Take your time. Use support here if you need it. You could use a chair, you could use your blocks, you could use the wall. A number of options to try to find yourself to a steady position on your feet. And take your time getting there. And when you're there, go ahead and start coming into your breath. And settle into this new orientation. We've just taken our brains and our spines and we're reoriented it in space. We're either higher in the room or a different area or direction we're facing. So we're just going to take a pause. We're going to feel your feet. And spread your toes if useful. All right, rock gently back and forth, side to side. You might see how many points you can feel the floor. And some people can feel 4 contact points with their feet. Some people can feel 3. I've talked to people that don't have any feeling in their feet. There's no right answer here. It's just curious. Just letting the feet give your brain information. You see, the feet, along with the hands, take up a lot of real estate in the brain, and those wires are going back and forth. So this is the feet saying, here I am. This is where I'm standing. This ground under me today, it support me. It's enough. Now on your next inhale, see if you can find a gentle rotation either side. Hands can be on hips. They could be in the front and the back, one hand on your small back, one hand on your belly, and we're just rotating side to side. Very gentle. Elbows staying bent. You might notice if there's anything automatic wanting to go a certain rate, wanting to twist a certain motion. If there's any speed that feels like it's pulling. Maybe there's more speed. As you're moving, keep your attention on your feet and your contact on the floor. And you might let your feet move with your hips if you'd like. We're not rigid here. We're not going deep. We're just lengthening the spine a little from the head to the tail. Bring as much motion into this as you'd like. And see if you can find that breath and that curious, just once is enough. And maybe there's a smile. And go ahead and start to bring your motion back towards stillness. Take your time. Transitions are part of the practice. And once you find your place, stillness, go ahead and grab both of your blocks, move them towards the top of your mat. You could also go for the chair, could be towards the top of your mat. We're going to be doing some forward folds and some rotations, so we're going to decide how much support you'd like and how deep you'd like to go into those. Have a couple options ready if you'd like. Again, these supports are here to help our decisions and our autonomous in our being in our bodies, not to go deeper into the poses. Take a moment to get set up and go ahead and forward fold. Knees can be bent. Knees can be on blocks or the chair. Wherever your hands are, bring one hand to your low back, either one. Place your palm flat where your tail would be, and be sure that your palm is flat on your tailbone. And this is about your motion that we're looking for here. If you continue to bend and your hand becomes unflat, your palm unflat on your tailbone, you may have overextended. And so you might feel that also in your low back, but also in your legs. And that might be a sign of over effort. So feel free in that position to come back a little. And in this position, find your breath. We're just bent over. And see if you can find that curious and stay with it for just a few breaths. The knees can be bent, the head can be heavy or lifted. And you might let your upper body hang just a little more. Maybe a little less effort in your neck. And if you had one hand there, move the other hand to your low back. And find that curious Each side could be different. Now from here, make one arm like a chicken wing, ear and hand together. We're going to do a gentle twist, opening your heart to the ceiling, finding that curious checking in with our brains, checking in with our effort, and seeing if there is stability here, and if there's ease available. And then when you're ready, chicken wing back down, hand to your support, and move the other side of the other chicken wing, hand to ear, opening towards the ceiling. Taking in your breath. Thoughts can be moving. And when you're ready, gently unwind, hand back towards support, bring your chicken wing back on your other side, and now rotate your hand towards the floor, elbow towards the floor, and your arm can understand underneath you, coming clear to the other side, folding through. Threading your needle to the other side. And finding your breath. Checking in with your low back. Is it flat? Checking in with your legs and your feet. And when you're ready, gently unwind. Move to the other arm. Hand to ear. Elbow to floor, gently threading the needle through. Finding your breath. Getting curious and checking with your low back. Is it still flat? Can you feel your feet on the floor? Can you lift your toes? And when you're ready, gently unwind. Come back to a standing position. And from here, we're going to do one leg back. Towards the back of your mat. Coming into a wide leg stance. Front foot is facing forward. Back foot is angled 90 degrees. And finding a slight bend in the knee. And then here, one hand towards your low back, one on your belly. Gently bending into the knee. And find your breath and find your depth. And extend your arms out if you'd like. And take your back hand towards your low back and see if it's still flat. And gently unwind, hand back down. Take your front foot, face it forward. Now both feet are facing the side of your mat and rotate the other way. left foot forward, back foot 90 degrees, gently bending into the knee, placing your hands at the low back and the belly, finding your curiosity and your hum, adjusting as needed, adding the arms if you'd like. And then bring that hand back to your low back and give a check. And any adjustment. And just stay here for a few breaths. And when you're ready, go ahead and gently unbend your knee. And we're going to start to make our way towards the floor. Onto your bottoms. And take your time here. Use support if needed. You could use the wall. On your way down, you're going to be sure to have your bolster close. You might want a blanket to sit on. Something for the knees, padded. Also your towel. And your strap. Go ahead and grab it. And move yourself down to the floor as you can, transitioning down, remembering that transitions are part of it. And when you get to the floor, stretch your legs out in front of you and give them a shake. Taking your time. And giving your legs a shake back and forth. And here, if you need a little more support, add the blankets underneath your bottom. You might need something underneath your legs, and your legs don't have to be straight here. So there's going to be a point with your legs that there's going to be effort and ease. Too much straightness might create too much effort. So find your spot. Knees can be bent. You could even have a blanket underneath your knees. You could have a blanket underneath your ankles if you have sensitive heels. Create some comfort here and take your time. And when you're here, start to come into that breath, that curious And go ahead and bring your hands, if they're available, placing that one hand on your low back, other hand on your belly. And bringing in the gentle breath. And we're checking in this orientation. So now we're in a different height. We've changed it for the brain again. The brain's updating that map. And here, can we feel our feet and our knees? Can I feel my legs? And can I stay with my breath in that space? Now, from here, see if there's any room for your spine to lengthen, making yourself just a little taller. And from here, find your breath. And on your next exhale, go ahead and bring your hands over your head in any way you'd like. And on your exhale, twist on either side. Gentle. Arms falling. One to the floor, back behind you, the other one to your knee or to your leg. And if you'd like, go ahead and look back towards that. Know that that might create more noise. So feel free to come back sooner, come out sooner if you'd like. This is just a way of us getting information in this orientation. And stay here for another breath. And slowly unwind in your time, coming back to center, shaking out your legs, feeling your feet on the floor, taking your time, checking in with your low back with your hand. And may they be tense at this moment. We've been in this position for a minute. Feel free to lean back on your arms if you'd like. Just a little. Just give a little relief. And feel free to move on your wrists a little bit and find that. Find a little movement. Shoulders, elbows. Feel your hands on the floor. Are all 10 fingers down? Are they spread? Maybe you can look at your hands. Gently though. We're moving. Your space, your time. Maybe you can change the direction of your wrists. Maybe your fingers start to face inward towards your body. And maybe you can see if that changes your rotation. And check in with your breath. And the brain's doing its thing, comparing. Let's take the time here. A few breaths with the hum. Your space. And start to unwind back into that form and that organization. Start to bring that lightness back into our spine. Bring that support and foundation into our low backs. Feeling our bottoms on the floor. Maybe dropping our shoulders a little bit. You're seeing if there's any ease available in the neck. And then from here, go ahead and take your bolster and your blocks, and we're going to create a little bit of an incline for ourselves to relax onto. And so one block can see up like this, the other block below that, bolster in front. And we're going to forward fold, and we're going to rotate. And we're going to do it slow and gentle. And we're going to focus on hinging like a book. And so if you'll notice books, when they hinge, the pages often touch before the ends of the books. Right? So we're hinging this way. So we're focusing on this part and on this part is where we're keeping our attention. And we're keeping ease there. What happens sometimes is that we're focusing on our hands and how far our hands can bend over and touch our feet. We're focusing on this inner side of the book. So keep our focus here. Find your gentle hum. And when you're ready, gently start to see how slow you can ease onto your incline. Coming down, seeing that your belly meets before your arms. And when it does, let your arms rest. And take in one of your hands and place it on your low back. And see if there's any flatness available. Nothing big. And just enough to remind us to stay organized. That we're not collapsing here. And find that gentle breath. Now on your next inhale, take one arm and put it on one side of your bolster, so both arms are on one side of your bolster. And find your spot here, gently relaxing down, maybe reaching towards your knee, remembering that we're focusing on our pages, touching our bellies, touching our thighs, not reaching for our toes. And find a breath. And what's our brains doing? Comparing, planning. You see, we can't rush our nerves. We can only create the conditions for them to become clear signals. When you're ready, go ahead and sit back upwards. Find that straightness in your spine. Find a breath here. And on your next inhale, gently twist forward with both arms on the other side of your bolster. Keeping your attention on your belly and your low back. Finding our breath and our curiosity. Just one hum is enough. And when you're ready, gently unwind that. Sitting back up. And from here you can start to choose how you'd like to end your practice, moving into a final shape. You could be sitting, could be resting on the floor. This is going to be your most supportive shape of the day. Take some time to choose how you'd like to take up the next 10 minutes or so. If you're on the floor, you might find a blanket helpful. Take up your time. Getting settled. No right placement here. You might check in with those intentions with your eyes earlier and see what helps you here. More input, eyes open, soft gazing, not noticing anything in particular, or eyes closed, coming fully inward, coming into this place of stillness. And find your breath here. Curious hum. Nothing dramatic. And take a final check to be sure you're fully supported. Any adjustments? Blocks could be under knees. Any final placements of your hands. Anything that helps the body receive a clear signal. And just take this time. And feeling the contact. The temperature may have changed. And textures may have changed. We're not comparing or sensing any freshness. Gentle breaths, curious hums. This gives the body something steady and trackable. Maybe a gentle smile. And then let those things go. And bring your attention to a hand, resting it somewhere it feels nice. And taking in the texture there. Feeling it in our fingers and knowing that that information is going right to our brains. Not improving it. We couldn't if we wanted to. And your brain is always taking in this information, making those updates. Where am I? What direction am I headed? Is this familiar? Or has it changed? Am I safe? And you might imagine a map app on your phone, GPS. And you're traveling somewhere unfamiliar. So you're using it and relying on it. You're going a lot your way. And then something changes. And it reroutes. Maybe you missed a turn. Maybe there's construction ahead. Maybe something unexpected I don't even know of. But for a brief moment, there's uncertainty. Am I going to get to my destination? And then the map updates. And there's new information. It's not dramatic. It's just updating based on the conditions that are actually there. And we do have a safe route. And we're not forced to go back to the old route. And we don't have to pretend like nothing has changed. We can be current with the information we're given in the moment. And bring that into your body, maybe into your hands, maybe into where your body's meeting the ground. This pressure is information. And check in to see if you can feel your breath moving on all sides, into the back, into your body. This current information, the system's updating. And if it feels okay, give in that gentle on an exhale. And thoughts can still be moving. Maybe the signal is clear though. Maybe you don't have to grab them. Maybe they can move, just like my sensations, just like the sounds, just like my breath. Our day is still waiting out there, but our systems don't need perfect conditions to take it. We just need something clear to work with. And we have those things. In our bodies, in our breath, in our awareness, under our thoughts. And we can reroute. And our systems can reorganize. And just rest here for a few breaths. And watch things move. Thoughts, sensation. Brains can only take in so much information, and so it's like a gate or a filter. Only one signal at a time. Let stillness be more important. I'm going to leave you with a short poem before a few minutes of silence. This is by Martha Elliott. Your history is here, inside your body. Your body is a storehouse of learnings, feelings, thoughts, and experiences, only waiting to be invited to reveal your treasures to yourself. Help yourself. As you let the learning emerge and take shape, you can appreciate the wisdom in your body. Each cell alive with spirit, emotion, intelligence, ready to help you at any moment. Always with you, always for you. And when it feels right, start to come back into the space. You might start noticing sounds and light in the room. You might start feeling your body meeting the ground. And feel the shape of your breath moving in and out, gentle, easy. And you might start to wiggle your fingers or your toes. Bring a little movement to your hands and your feet. Maybe stretch if that feels right, natural. And when you're ready, you can roll on one side or the other. And take your time coming up. Back to a seat, no rush. Taking your time. And feeling the ground again. And sensing our breaths. And sensing into our hands, whether they're palms up, palms down, on the body somewhere. Notice if your eyes want something now. To be more exploring now. And return to your intention from before, and to your sticky note. And see if it's maybe different or the same. Maybe the word or shifted. Maybe there was nothing there and something's appeared. And see if you'd like to take it with you off the mat today. And take a moment to sense in if there's anything else that you'd like to leave here. You don't have to carry everything with you through your day. Maybe a gentle inhale and an exhale. And in a moment, maybe you find your breath, or you come to your hands, or you come to your feet, and you return. And maybe you're just a little clearer. And that information is a little easier to follow what's happening. Thank you for spending this time with me. And thank you for taking the time to have a conversation with yourself. And I will be available for questions after.